Today's awesome dude of the week is Ibn al-Haytham. His full name was Abu Ali al-Hasan ibn al-Hasan ibn al-Haytham, but in Europe they called him al-Hasan or al-Hazan. He was sometimes also called al-Basri. Medieval Europe also bestowed upon him some cool nicknames like Ptolemaeus Secundus and the pro-wrestling-esque moniker of the Physicist. Born in Iraq, he was a smart kid who had lots of ideas. Like he had the idea of building a dam on the Nile so that instead of flooding annually, it could be regulated. The Caliph thought that was a great idea and commissioned him to build the dam. After doing some field work, realized that they were still lacking a good 900 years of technology before the Aswan Dam could be built. Was an erratic dude though. Like he prohibited the eating of grapes and ordered all the dogs and cats in the country to be executed and forbid the making of women's shoes. He wanted to steal the Prophet Muhammad's body. So, didn't want to mention anything about the futility of attempting to construct 20th century infrastructure in the 11th century, since had a penchant for killing folks. So he just faked insanity for a decade till that crazy caliph passed away. Whilst under house arrest for being crazy, wrote his famous book on optics. It kind of took things from the ancient to the Enlightenment, not just with optics, but the introduction of the scientific method, experimental physics, and science. Yeah, he was the first scientist. The first scientist. He also has a crater on the moon named after him, as well as his own mathematical problem. Something about bank shots of billiard balls on a circular table or bouncing light off a mirror. This guy first mentioned it, but no one really knew how to find the ellipse with the 2 points as foci to which the circle is tangent, because you start getting into fourth degree equations. He got them through mathematical induction, figuring out a way to get the sum of any integral powers, then use that to find the volumes of paraboloids and get integrals for polynomials up to the fourth degree. This was a big deal in fields like infinitesimal and integral calculus. Eventually, this guy figured out an algebraic solution to the problem. Also did stuff with elliptic and hyperbolic geometry, as well as numbers theory and perfect numbers. Couldn't prove anything, but his advancements were important. He also did stuff with zoomusicology. I know it sounds ridiculous, and most scholars scoff at the idea, but don't forget that was way smarter than you are. And he wasn't just theorizing or making stuff up. He did experiments with quickening or slowing the pace of camels through music. Also stuff with music and animal behavior in horses, birds, and reptiles. Hey, I don't know. But then again, this don't make much sense to me either. He said the dam couldn't be built, and it wasn't till hundreds of years later. His problem wasn't solved till 1997, and this one till 1771. So he just might be a couple centuries ahead of his time on zoomusicology too.